Hey, welcome back to Worm's Eye View. I haven't done one of these videos in quite a while. I don't know why really, but I'm going to show you our new topic shelf. So we finished with dinosaurs. We did about 4 or 5 weeks of dinosaurs and had an amazing time. So let me start with our shelves. We have the books on the first shelf. So we have 1001 Things to Spot in the Sea. We've got Way Down Deep in the Deep Blue Sea, a book about shark attacks. Another book about oceans in general. We have this really cute sunken treasure book that has this piece of card that goes behind and acts like a torch through the ocean, which is brilliant. It's like magic. So I know the kids are going to love that. And then we have a sticker book to work through together. Whoa, everything's just collapsing. We have some shells. We have a Finding Dory card game to do with the after school children. Then here we have, so that's the literacy bits kind of covered, the books and what have you. Then we have some fine motor skills here. We have a threading activity. This is just something I think I got from Baker Ross last year and I'd got left over. So it's just a couple of different fish with some bits that you can attach. It's only made of foam, so it's quite lightweight. You can see someone's already put the lips on this one. And there's a needle in there somewhere attached to one of these, just a little plastic, there we are, little plastic needle. So that's there for them to just enjoy exploring, you know, work their fine motor skills, sort of their pincer grip, and you know, that's obviously going to help with their pre-writing skills, you know, holding that needle and getting it through these small holes. You know, obviously their hand-eye coordination as well, so getting it into those holes. We have just some very simple puzzles here. These are the really easy ones, and these are just, I got these from Toys for a Pound. It's an online app, and these are just a CBeebies sea life puzzle set. So they're only 2 pieces, but those will be great for my younger ones. And then I'm going to try and get hold of a slightly harder puzzle, maybe a 16 or a 12 piece puzzle for the older children. Down here for the little ones again, I have just a splash book. So this is just numbers 1 to 5. And then there's just these little things that you can sort of stick on the page. They have a little tiny sticky bit on the back. And match the different creatures to the pages. This was £3 in the works a few weeks ago, if you're wondering where that came from. This is my awesome puppet that I got from a car boot sale. I think it was £3 for a whole bunch of different puppets, and they were all to do with sort of stories, so that worked really well. I've got Rainbow Fish and Friends Hidden Treasures, so I thought it'd be quite nice to have the book and the puppet to tell the story as a nice little prompt. Then we have just some little sea bits. So we've got the Owl and the Pussycat. I thought we could listen to the music of the Owl and the Pussycat. Then we have some different knots that sailors would use. There's just some cute little sea turtles hatching, so I thought that might encourage some conversation about what's happening there with the turtles. And then I've just used some loose parts to make up a little ocean, and put some boats on it. And then we've got a little sailor guy there and a lighthouse. So I thought maybe we could introduce the lighthouse keeper's breakfast or a nice story like that, and talk about the importance of lighthouses. Then I have a small basket here of just little manipulatives that the children can use either with their stories or to do some small world play, or just to explore really. Then we have this sensory bottle which I've made using water that has been dyed blue with some glitter in it, and poured that into the bottle and then topped it up with some not olive oil, vegetable oil, and it makes a really nice glittery ocean. And then I've put a big blue towel down, and this is quite a small paddling pool. It's actually smaller than I expected it to be, but it's worked out really well. This is from the Poundland, and then these were from Wilko's. I think they were £2 each, and they're just little wind-up toys. This is great for the ICT element, you know, using little mechanical toys, great for fine motor skills. And then they can watch them go around the pool and they can tell little stories. And I've put some seashells and bits in the bottom as well. And then I move over to here's this little Montessori tray activity I have, which is the 3-part cards. So this one is the scallop, and then the children can match the cards and the word. Obviously little ones won't be able to read them at this point, but I'll be doing it with them, and then match the correct shell as well. So obviously I'm going to put these like this now for them, but then when we do the activity we'll mix them all up and they can sort of work out which bit goes with which. And I have a whole range of these cards, so I can change the shells sort of each week and have a look at different types of shells. And we'll talk about sort of the bivalve shells as well, sort of the different types of shells, not just the different, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not explaining it very well, am I? So yes, the different types of shells, not just the different I want to say breeds of shell, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so then we have a sea life book. So this is just something we picked up from Great Yarmouth many moons ago. Brendan was 4 when we went to Great Yarmouth, and he's now 16. So that shows how old this book is, but it's really good. Comes out every year when we do this. Has some information about each of the sea creatures, and some amazing pictures. And then we have this basket of different things that live in the ocean, and we can use this book to help us identify some of the different creatures and name them. We've also got a seashore book here, which is it the Collins? Yeah, the Collins Gem Guide, and this will help us to identify different shells and different sea creatures. And here's a whole bunch of different shells. We've got cuttlefish there, we've got some the razorfish, some sea sponge. We've got various different types of rocks, pebbles and shells there, so we can use this book to see if we can name some of them. And then I've got a couple of shadow sheets. Now these are a good, well, probably a good 10 years old, so I probably need to get some new ones because I noticed I don't have all of the bits to match the shadows. But the idea is that you find the creature that matches the shadow. So this is great sort of logical shape matching, visual discrimination activity, and then obviously we can then name the different sea creatures at the same time. So those are the different activities we've got out at the moment. Most of it is just an introduction to oceans, a very simple introduction. We're going to be having a lot of books, a lot of sort of sensory play with the water and the shells before we go into anything more in depth. But I have quite a few activities planned to cover sea life and oceans. Unfortunately, I live in the furthest point from the sea, so we won't be able to visit the sea because it takes a good 2 hours to get down there, which I'm gutted about because a visit to a beach would have been awesome. And the nearest Sea Life Centre is London. So again, although we're relatively close to London, it still would be a good hour or so into London, and dealing with the tubes and everything and the children is not something I fancy doing. So we're all going to have to do it all very home-based, but that's fine. So that is what we have so far to introduce the theme of oceans. One bit, well, 2 bits actually that I did forget to show you was I've taken some of the cards from the Orchard Toys Sneaky Sharks, I think it's called, Sneaky Sharks game. And instead of playing Sneaky Sharks, at the moment we're just going to use it as a matching game. So I've put 2 of each type of creature, sea creature, into the basket. And then we're going to turn them all over and we're going to do like a matching game. So see if we can find the matching pair. and then start to introduce the concept of the actual Sneaky Sharks game once we've got used to the cards and the pictures. The second thing I've set up is just a little fishing tray, and there's two magnetic fishing rods there, so they can work together and see what they can fish out of the little ocean. So there's another couple of activities which I'd actually forgot I'd got in the other room and didn't show you.